course. It's interesting, Vibhuti Jha, that you started your reply with, how intention is more important than action. Sarah Specter, do you
No, no, no.
resonate
I'm
with
not
that?
saying
Do you
that he's
agree with the
not.
fact
Sorry,
that,
sorry, sorry.
even if, no, but you
I'm not saying
started with
that
that, right?
intention is
That
more
leaders
important than
make
action.
big claims, big promises during campaigning, and it's the intention which matters. I'm going with that statement of yours, but let me get in Sarah Specter there. Sarah, how much do you think would resonate with the citizens of America? They've given out a clear mandate to Donald Trump, aspiring, hoping that he will walk the talk, that he will fulfill his promises. How much of that would be possible?
Uh, well, foreign policy, America, I think the people that voted for him are complete isolationists. They don't want America involved in any foreign conflict, even supplying any weapons, is what I am getting from most of the Republicans that voted for him. I agree. If he stops the supply of weapons to Ukraine, the war will probably settle. I'm not 100% sure of that. Given I don't know that Putin will settle. I don't know how reasonable he would be as far as settling that war, because he will look like he lost it. I think because everyone's expectations at the beginning of that war was he was easily going to take Ukraine, and he hasn't. It was supposed to be over in 2 weeks, and they lost a lot of people. There's a lot of dead Russians, and so anyway, as far as Trump has made a lot of blanket promises in America. The border wall, he can keep building it. That would take a long time. Obviously, it takes a long time to build that wall. Fixing our healthcare, he hasn't given us any specifics. And we waited 4 years on that last time, and he tried to. So I think what's going to happen on healthcare, what we're really afraid of, is that now that there's a Congress that he has in his power, I think he's gonna have the House and the Senate. I'm not. Yes. It looks like it. I think they're going to repeal the Affordable Care Act of Obama's, and what's scary is he doesn't have a replacement, and so he's going to take a lot of stuff that Americans like. Before the ACA, I have a pre-existing condition, and I couldn't get it insured. I was born with a pre-existing condition, and I couldn't get insured by an insurance company. And the ACA prevents that, right? And so there's people with cancer who, if they get a recurrence of cancer, they'll be without insurance. And he has yet to say what he's going to do. And he's given a lot of promises.
Okay, Sarah, so a lot of concerns there. Yeah, lots of promises, lots of concerns there. Let me get in Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar into the conversation. Ambassador Sajjanhar, we've heard both sides. We've heard how there is, some sort of hope in Donald Trump bringing, if not a complete end to the war, some sort of resolution there, doing something about illegal immigration, all of that. There are doubts and there is hope. I want to understand from you how easy or tough it's going to be for him, because it's not easy to just one day go and tell Vladimir Putin to end the war, or to tell, Zelensky to end the war and it ends the next day. But it's Donald Trump. Who knows? He's been quintessential Donald Trump. It's erratic. He is known for his erratic behavior and words. But then, diplomatically, legally, technically, how challenging would it be for him to actually walk the talk when it comes to the wars?
Very challenging, Shreya. And, the intentions might be right because, let's face it, no one wants wars. Because what do wars bring? Wars bring death, wars bring destruction, wars bring misery. No one wants war. But then, it's easier said than done to say, to claim that you can stop a war. But here, let's look at both these cases very, very quickly. what does stopping the war in Ukraine mean? Because, as your other panelists have said, that if he stops supplying weapons, what does it mean? That, Ukraine is completely defenseless. It's not able to defend itself. So, what it has been able to do so far, that is to stop Putin not running over the whole of the country, but, over the last 2.5+ years, being able to take only about 18, 19% of the territory. If he is defenseless, if he is not able to defend himself, Putin's armies will just march in over more territories also. So I don't think that is what anyone implies by stopping a war. I think what is realistic is that he tells both the sides that you freeze, because it's become a stalemate. Everyone knows, even as far as the Russians, they are also losing men, they are also losing money. They have put in 10,000 soldiers from North Korea. That means they don't have men of their own. We know that even as far as some of the Indians who had gone there, they have also been, beguiled to fighting on the fronts. So Russia does not have people also. They've also lost people. So I'm sure they are also looking for some sort of an end to the conflict. So maybe if we can ask for an end to the active conflict, so that you freeze the situation as it is, so that even Ukraine is not losing more territory, even Russia is not losing more men and money. And then after that we see how, what the negotiations bring out and what it produces. So I think that is one, I would imagine, reasonable way, because he has an agency both with Zelensky as well as with Putin. Now, as far as West Asia is concerned, I think that becomes very tricky, because, if people say that Mr. Biden has been supportive of Netanyahu, Trump has been much more supportive in his first term of Israel and of Benjamin Netanyahu. So, how is
Yes.
he going to sort of, stop him? And then Trump has been much more forthcoming in ensuring that there will be that Iran will not be allowed to become a nuclear weapon state. You remember it had moved out of the JCPOA. So I think that makes it very, very
Yes.
complex. The only aspect is that maybe, the regional countries, which are good friends also with the United States, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, they are able to send out a message, because they know that if the conflagration extends, they will also be will get drawn in, and it will be harmful for them also.